What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Coach Joyner's War Room. And today we have Reginald Fitzgerald on the show. Now, he couldn't call in, but he did. He was able to type in his answers, so I'm going to just read them off for y'all. Just so y'all know, he's a 6'3 recruit out of Florida that is staying home to go in, who's committed to Southeast Select. He's staying home, playing for the home state. And let's jump into the questions. So I asked him what made staying home in Florida the right move for him. He responded to me saying that staying home in Florida was the right move for me because of the connections I have. Me and my boy Ray Chuckmore go way back, farther back than the green box in the hood. We always had the chemistry, why not run it back with my big fella? So it looks like he's staying with his friend. He's staying loyal to his boy that he grew up with. He said it go back farther than the green box. So this is his man's for real. So that's why he's staying in Florida, because his man's is there. Two, asked him what's something about Florida hoop culture that people outside the state don't understand. He said that what sets them apart is from other states, what people wouldn't understand is our trash talk. A ball player could say something about your mother and still show love after the game. I don't know what it's like in other states. Maryland won't really do that. You talk about somebody's mama, we probably swinging on you. But if that's how they get down, if that's how they show respect, that's how they do it. I mean, if it works for them, it obviously does. They have plenty of people in the league. Next, ask him who is somebody you model your game after, pro or college. He went for a big swing here. He said SGA. He said he loves the way he manipulates the game and slows it down. That's a big name to try and mold after, but SGA, I mean, for the younger crowd, he's obviously going to be a role model for a lot of them. He's one of the best, if not the best player in the world right now. Next, I asked him, how do you stay unpredictable on the floor when defenders key in on your scoring ability? He said misdirection moves is his go-to. So he likes to misdirect people, try to lead you one way to go the other. Kind of like his model, SGA obviously. How do you plan to separate yourself now that you're in the locker room, on or off the court? He said he separates himself by just throwing on my headphones and getting in that mode. It's easy for me to do that with or without my tunes. I asked him what's his go-to pregame playlist or song that gets him in the zone. He said Drake Red Button gets him locked in. I don't know how that is getting him locked in, but I respect Drake. But go Kendrick. I also asked him if you weren't hooping, what sport would you be playing, or what else would you be doing? Interesting answer here. He said, if I wasn't hooping, I'd be trapping on the block. I need to get some more clarification on that one, but that's what he typed into me, so that's what we're gonna go with. But since he typed in and it turned out to be a shorter episode than I wanted it to be, I got a second interview for y'all. And for my second guest, I got Kai Killens, Alabama commit, and one of the best players in SimWorld Prep these past 2 seasons, if not the best. Welcome on.
I appreciate you having me on, Coach Joyner. This is a great opportunity for me in Alabama. I'll tell you that much.
I know you got a busy schedule, so I appreciate you coming on, and I'm going to hop right into it. Alabama has a growing reputation in basketball, especially under Coach Oates. What was it about the program that made it stand out to you?
I mean, the offer, of course. But in all seriousness, at the time, Almighty Soul was verbally committed to Alabama, and I was verbally committed to LSU. We didn't think that we were going to have an opportunity to play together, but when I got noticed that Quincy Henderson was interested in going into the SWBA draft, he was declaring, that is when I got the offer from Alabama. And, at least a week or two went by. I decommitted from LSU. I made my moves to go to Alabama. So it's really about playing with my guys, you know, him, Leonardo Fields, Aiden Weaver, who's currently on his sabbatical, hoping he comes back soon for the upcoming season. But, I'm really excited to be part of this program under Coach Oates. We're going to do a lot of great things together.
Second player of the day saying the connection stood out to him. Connections matter, even between your fellow players. So I'm gonna get into question two. What do you think sets Alabama apart from the other programs when it comes to developing players, both on and off the court?
Honestly, the best thing that Alabama has going for itself, as far as what I watched and reviewed over this past season, was the fact that everybody gets to touch the ball. And I'm not saying that there's no star power necessarily on Alabama, but you never knew who you had to game plan against, and you never really knew who was going to end up being the leading scorer. Now, some nights it was DJ Childs, others it was Quincy Henderson, Dwayne Epps, Rodrigo Falls, Levin Cutler, you name it, they just keep popping up. And the best thing about me coming into the system now is I could possibly slot in at shooting guard or small forward. Almighty Soul would be our power forward, and Leonardo Fields would be our center, which is the ideal lineup for me. If Aiden Weaver doesn't come back, but if he does, I'm happy to see him move back to shooting guard. I'll be a small forward, and we'll just run the whole thing.
So how do you see yourself fitting into Alabama's playing style, especially with Coach O's up-tempo, high-pressure game plan?
Honestly, I think I'm the perfect fit for Alabama. Even with Coach Oates having an up-tempo, high-pressure game plan for Alabama, I've played a lot of soccer and I have the stamina for it. Most of my focus will be getting to my spots though in the low post towards the baseline. So if you ever see me down there, I'm probably gonna catch it, palm it, do one or two dribbles. I will go for a fade, or I might just move my defender out the way. You never know. It's gonna be an easy 2 points nonetheless. But if teams want to drop a zone on me, I got the range too. You guys saw that at the McDonald's All American.
We sure did. So what role do you envision yourself playing on the team during your first season? How do you plan to earn that spot?
The role I envision myself for Alabama is definitely shooting guard. If I have the opportunity to bully these little kids in the paint, I would definitely take that. You give me an ISO, that's going to be free all the time. But hypothetically, if Aiden Weaver comes back from his sabbatical, I have no problem running the three. It's going to be just more of the same thing. I'm going to catch the ball, palm it, fade, or I'm gonna drive right by you. That's most of my game. And teams drop a zone, I'm gonna catch it in the corner, I'm gonna splash it because I've been practicing my range. So, with all that being said, the two or the three, either or works for me. I prefer the two because I would like to take those kids to school.
Some major confidence out of the freshmen. They are hanging those words on their walls right now. Every person that gets the best of him is going to repeat all this right back to him, but it doesn't matter because he's going to make sure that that never happens. But next we get into the experience of being at Alabama. What excites you the most about playing in Coleman Coliseum with the fans and the atmosphere during those big games?
Man, the thing that excites me the most about playing in Coleman Coliseum has to be the pressure. I'm definitely motivated to keep up the Alabama Crimson Tide's reputation of being the most dominant team in the SEC, especially with this past season where they've gotten to the quad. I would like to take my guys even further, try to make it to the championship and maybe even win it all. But, chemistry is a big part of that. And, fans can cheer you on, or they can talk down on you. And it's just a matter of having that balance and navigating through it as well as with your guys, making sure that the chemistry is tight and that everybody stays solid.
Alabama has been on a rise in recent years in basketball. How do you feel about being a part of the next phase of the program's rise as you try to reach football's heights?
With Alabama making it all the way to the quad this past season, up until they were beaten by the eventual champions, I'm really excited to be part of this next phase of the program's rise. Being lauded as one of the main focus points for Alabama Crimson Tide this upcoming season really gets me motivated to beat all of our rivals. So you already know when it comes to the schedule, I'm gonna be looking to get backs on Auburn. We're gonna send Kentucky home crying, and those Florida Gators are trash. We're gonna stomp them out. No question about it. So I'm just letting you know now. If you want to see some hot rivalry games, tune into the SEC.
Your high school game was very impressive, what you did with Gulf Coast Lockdown. What part of your game do you feel will translate best to college, and what are you looking to improve on?
Yeah, I miss high school a lot, especially when most of my greatest moments in my times were with Gulf Coast Lockdown. Shout out to Coach Nick Heesh and Carson Cutbirth, my guys that have been, holding it down for me. As you know, Carson is moving on to the Oklahoma Sooners. So maybe one of these days I'll be able to play against him. But a lot of the guys that are back there right now, like Razard Rashawn, Isaac Onye Franklin, Henry Simpson, Sean Kurosaki, gotta give those guys their flowers because they're going to be locked in for a great season under Coach Nikish. But the part of my game that I feel will translate best to the college level is my mid range. I'm strong at it. Of course, I'm a dead eye when it comes to this stuff. So if you leave me open in my spots, in the high post or the low, wherever you think that I may miss, I'm going to hit that shot 9 times out of 10. And I'm definitely working to improve upon my strength. As you may know, I spoke to Coach Nick Oates in regards to a team meeting that me, Almighty Soul, and Leonardo Fields attended, where he was just discussing parts of our games that we would be filling into, and strength was a big concern of his. But again, I'm gonna be putting in work all summer long. So when it comes time for that schedule to roll around and we start really playing, you'll see how great my field goal percentages are. Best believe that.
Now that you're on this level, obviously you've been across some great hoopers, great coaches. Who are some of your biggest influences or mentors in your basketball journey?
Man, definitely my biggest influences during my basketball journey has to have been Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan. Those are my big three, but I have been watching a lot of modern film. So I've been keeping up with Anthony Edwards on the Minnesota Timberwolves, Shai Gilgeous and Alexander, who's on Oklahoma City Thunder. A lot of these guys that are ISO focused and driven to motivate their guys to the best heights that are also young. That's a big part of my thinking process right now. But a big mentor as far as currently has been Coach Nick Heesh. He's been guiding me since Gulf Coast lockdown during my first year and up until my last year. And I'm excited about what those guys can bring with the roster that they currently have. It's going to be amazing to see. I'm going to be watching some high school SimWorld prep games. And you guys got to be tuned in as well.
I know it's a bit early to talk about this, but what's your long term vision for your basketball career? Obviously, going pro is it, but are there other aspects to the game that intrigue you, like coaching or mentoring?
I mean, the long-term vision of my basketball career is probably mentorship. I've established myself as a voice in the community, so to speak. So I'm really big on helping the new guys where I know them and when I can, especially if I have time. But if I don't, I always send messages, reminders about what to do when you're here, how to act when, you're going through these situations, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely mentorship is a big focus for me. I hope to eventually move on to a role where that's an official posting for me. But for now, I'll just stick to texting my guys whenever and just seeing how they're doing. But other aspects of the game that intrigue me is definitely my 3-point shot ability. I want to be able to have more range than I currently do, but if not, that's not a big deal because again, most of my damage comes from the mid range and everything inside the arc. So if you see me driving downhill, that's a bucket. If you see me shooting a mid range, that's a bucket. And you got to watch out for those two right now because if I develop the 3-point game, I'll be a three-level threat like never before. And I'm already almost there. Just give me some time.
Thank you for taking time out your busy schedule, Kai. Appreciate you coming on. Good luck on the season. If you got any last words to say, get them out.
I appreciate you, coach. For everybody out there listening to the pod, strive for greatness. You only get one opportunity. Y'all be safe now.